So her first thing, she was like, you can't pay bills with cash out, can you, and all of that stuff? Because I was like, I really was being used all over again. Because all my money was really going to her. And now I understand why my sister left in the first place. Because she told me that my mom was asking for money and all of that stuff. And now I kind of realized she really was. And all this time that I've been trying to get information on my sister, she'd be like, oh, cool. And then goes back to watching TV or yells at me. She'd be like, I don't trust markets or none of that and all of that. I'm like, bro, you're missing the point. This isn't about the money. This is about my twin sister missing. But Cece's the main person that got me down here. And now she's snaking out Cece, saying that, hey, Cece is Snake. I've known Cece and Auntie Linda for the longest time. Don't trust them. Don't help them out because they going to use you and all of this. I'm like, bruh, you see, help me out. It seems like Cece should be my mom at this point.
What's up, YouTube? I have the best trainer in Atlanta and possibly the world. Hit him up on Instagram at Katie with the Muscle. Now back to the content.
So on a previous interview, I went live on Facebook, right? And in this interview, I stated that my mom was pretty much making me pay rent. But I didn't say she was actually paying rent. But Dr. Odelia had said that I said that I was making my mom make me pay rent, which in a sense was true but false at the same time, because majority of my money, she kept telling me to buy certain appliances and all of that stuff. She said I was going to contribute in that house because she said I needed to spend some money. So I was like, okay. And so whatever she told me to buy, I was buying, because I was buying her Amsterdam vodka, I was buying stuff for the bathroom, I was buying food and beverages and all of this stuff, and then all of this. And so, like, I was like, okay, that's pretty much, I'm just spending majority of my money on all of this. I don't really have much for myself, right? So then she said that I'm lying, that I don't have a job and all of that stuff. And she said 3 jobs, he had an interview for 3 jobs, but he just passed it up. And all of this happening. And then she pretty much just dogged my name and told them not to send me money, not to send my sister money. And she said nobody tried to look at none of that, because they lying, they know where each other are at, and all of this.
That's what Dr. Odelia said?
That's what my mother and Dr. Odelia said. Or at least my so-called mother.
Wow.
And I'm going to Cece's because she snapped, because she said the only reason why y'all got money in Atlanta was because y'all were selling y'all bodies. And I was like, no, because I had a job in Atlanta. I worked at UPS. I made honest, good money. And then the only reason why my sister got into it was because she had gotten kicked out of the fucking shelter, so all of that. And so all of this shit pissed me off. And then, so I packed my stuff, and then she was like, that entire time I was packing my stuff, she was like, it's time for my interview and all of this shit. And then she told me not to talk to you, which you already know, because she was like, because Dr. Odelia and her were telling me not to speak to you at all, because you were like, you weren't doing anything for me. You were like, you were really just using me, trying to get money for me and all of that stuff. And then she said she don't trust you or none of that. And I was like, so every time I tried to do an interview, I would close my door, right? Because I wanted silence. And she was banging on my door. That's what you were hearing in the background. Because that's why, you know that time that you were like, is that your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was really telling me, you ain't going to do no interview at my house. Shut the up. You must be fucking kidding me and all of that stuff. And she was like, open the door. And then she brought a knife out. She was taking it from the kitchen. And she was like, yeah, best you open that door. And I was like, okay. So then she stopped all the doors in the house. It was like, you ain't closing no more doors and all of this shit. And then when I walked outside for some privacy with you, she had shut the door behind me and locked it and all of this shit. So, like, I'm hopping around. And then she gonna be like, her last statement before I left out the house, because I was pissed off, she was like, when he leave, I'm still gonna love him and all of that shit. Then my sister, my biological sister, Kashmir, she called me. She was like, hey, you good? Because on Facebook, I really just went into another episode of depression, all of that shit. I really wanted to kill myself again, because all of this it's just stress on top of stress. And she's like, you're a liar. You're not really helping, all of that stuff and all of this. And then she was like, so her first thing, she was like, you can't pay bills with cash out, can you, and all of that stuff? Because I was like, I really was being used all over again. Because all my money was really going to her. I wasn't spending much of that shit. The only thing I spent it on was trying to get to Uber from point A to point B. And all of that, the majority of it, because now I got, I don't know, $16 in my account. Majority of that shit is going to home appliances and food and all of that shit.
How much would you say you spent total on since you've been up there?
300 shit. I don't know. It was a bunch of shit. Because it's like, I gotten, for that first interview I got, I think, I don't know, like $500. That thing went to her pretty much. All of that really was just gone. And then I was hopping around from relative to relative and all of this stuff. And then, I don't know, what's she doing? She's just showing out because she's trying to impress other people by buying a bunch of shit. And I don't know. She either keeping it in the house, because the last time I actually brought some shit for somebody else, because with this little bit of money, I was trying to, like, get some food to my uncle and my cousin. They didn't really need it. I just wanted to show some kindness because they were helping me out and stuff. And then they were like, you need to save your money. Yet you using my money. So it just pissed me off. And then, like, yeah. Sorry for stressing you out about this, too.
No,
like,
listen, man. Listen. You don't ever have to apologize to me, okay? You're going through a lot, man. Like, you basically haven't had a chance. Because if this is how your biological mom acts, and if that's how your adopted parents acted, you haven't had a chance. Like, you literally have not had a chance. So,
and now I understand why my sister left in the first place, because she told me that my mom was asking for money and all of that stuff, and now I kind of realized she really was, because all of that money, she was like, she kept telling me I didn't ask for shit from your mom. I pay my own bills, I pay my own rent and all of that stuff, and yet she's behind on bills and all of this stuff. So I'm like,
and apparently she's on she's got Section 8, so she doesn't pay rent. She's got that subsidized.
Yeah, because she kept telling me that I need to go to work and stuff and all of that, but I ain't never seen her go to work. And then she called on the phone that she had she gotten off for work, right? And she said, I clocked out for today. And I was like, okay. And then that was that. And I was like, okay. So then that shit, oh, sorry. So then that pissed me off. And then it's just a bunch of shit going on, man. And then she gonna dog my name. Tell nobody to donate to my sister or none of that. Because we just using this situation to get money and all of that stuff. And that she said we weren't raised properly or none of that. Which, I mean, we weren't raised with love or none of that, but we're not using y'all. We really trying to find my fucking sister. And all this time that I've been trying to get information on my sister, she be like, oh, cool. And then goes back to watching TV or yells at me. She'd be like, I don't trust Marcus or none of that and all of that shit. And I'm like, bro, you're missing the point. This isn't about the money. This is about my twin sister missing. And then her argument is that I'm like, don't talk about my twin sister, because she said y'all were getting money from Atlanta something because y'all were selling y'all bodies and stuff. And then she was like, well, this ain't a joke no more. Y'all can do that for a little bit, but now this is getting real serious. And then I'm like, she's like, you know where your sister is and all of this shit. I'm like, no, I don't. And she was like, because she said that on Dr. Odelia's show. And then Odelia was like, yeah, I understand, and all of that stuff. And she was including all of that. She was agreeing with it and all of that. She had literally called me on the phone. She told me, don't talk to my kids because I don't trust them and all of that stuff. And then she gonna talk to me. She gonna say, stop trying to find your sister and all of this because you're really causing her more hurt than helping her. Because she's like, the more you trying to put pressure, the more they're willing to hurt her and all of this stuff. So stop trying to find your sister. Just let it be. And I'm like, no, I don't care. And then I'm trying to find my sister, and then my mom was like, well, people die for this shit. Y'all were in, like, prostitution and all of that stuff, and that's cool, but now this isn't a joke anymore, and so y'all should just stop and come clean. I'm like, I don't know where my sister is, but she keeps putting that on me. She's telling me not to look for her. She's telling me to stop trusting you for getting a platform because she's saying that the money isn't enough to be paid to me. I'm like, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing this for my sister.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about them trying to get you to stop searching for your sister? What are your initial thoughts?
I don't give a what they want me to do is what I want to do at this point, because I already got sense. And probably the only person in this family that cares about me is my cousin Pikes, my uncle Chilmo, my uncle Jerome, my auntie Tina, everybody in my cousin Mark Pike's house. All of this shit, all of them in here, they're probably the ones that only care about me.
Well,
Because
I mean, and don't forget.
I was about to say Shishi. Don't worry.
Okay.
Shishi's the crown on top of everything. Don't worry, because all of them, they helped me out a lot. But Shishi's the main person that got me down here, and now she's snaking out Shishi, saying that, hey, Shishi is Snake. I've known Shishi and Auntie Linda for the longest time. Don't trust them. Don't help them out because they gonna use you and all of this shit. I'm like, bruh, she helped me out. It seems like Shishi should be my mom at this point because she's the one that really cared about me. And look, I dogged her one more time because I disrespected her because the reason why was like I was stressed out, I was pissed off, and my mom kept telling me, don't talk to Shishi, don't talk to Auntie Linda. If you do, that's just on you because you're just gonna cause problems and stuff. And I'm like, what? Because she said that they were using me in order to get information to tell you, and that I'm not gonna get my own shine light, my spotlight. Because she said, you're going to be a millionaire. Don't do any interviews with Marcus because of the lawsuit and all of this. She trying to do a lawsuit with DCFS, and she told me to do a lawsuit on my adopted parents, which I was going to do. I really wanted to do. But still, it's like, it's just all about money at this point for her.
She's definitely manipulating you, man. She's 100% being manipulative and... Listen, man, and that Dr. Odelia lady, she contacted me. I don't know. I guess it was Tuesday when everything had kind of first broke. And hey,
she talked about you. She told me that she did the exact same thing that she said you were doing. She said that you said don't worry about my sister. She had left on her free will and stuff, which is true. I still want to find her, but now she's telling me to don't worry about her at all. Forget about her. Don't focus on her at all. All of this shit. So she told me not to talk to you. And then my mom had told me not to talk to you or do any interviews or nothing. So pretty much all those interviews I was doing with you, I was trying to raise awareness of my sister and going behind my mom's back. And then she was like, I don't want another video posted in my house or none of that shit because it's not their business. It's nobody's business and none of that. And then now she just wants to do a bunch of interviews herself and then a bunch of money. And her main key thing that she carries on to is that my sister, Lexus, she had gotten killed off like some drug thing and all of this shit. And her main aspect was, hey, I have to deal with the stress of losing my daughter and all of this stuff. And I was notified that she didn't really give a about my sister, let alone she don't give a about, I'm talking about my sister Lexus. And now she don't really give a about my sister, my twin sister, Ramaya, because she said, well, let her be. It doesn't matter. All of my sister's is back at that house. And notified to me, she was trying to wear my sister's shoes that my grandpa Kenny, for me, he had bought her Jordans, nice clothes, and jackets and all of this shit. And yeah, that this happened, and I was just pissed off. And like, yeah, this is just ridiculous. And so, yeah.
All right, listen, take a second and breathe, okay? Take a second and breathe, man. All right, so, okay. So me and Shishi spoke about an hour or so ago. And so she's supposed to be, I guess, getting you, right?
Yeah.
How far are you away from being at her house? Because she's supposed to be calling me when you get there.
Oh, Uber was like $106, and I didn't have that. I only had like $50 on my cash app. I sent her $35 so she could call me and Uber to the spot because she didn't want her address on this phone. Because my mom would be, she'd be saying a bunch of shit and talking and all of this shit, and she'd be saying, don't hang out with certain people. If you do, they're going to be consequences and all of this shit. And then she gonna whoop me on my hand. She taking sticks and stuff and whack me on her hands with that, which I guess is discipline, but she treated it as a joke and all of this stuff. And then it's like she's not a really good role model because it's just a bunch of shit she cussed out people in front of me that do simple things wrong, and then she yelled at me the exact same way, and she said this. Her main thing is like, this is my house. I don't give a about y'all. Y'all can get the out my house and all of this. And then she started arguing in a car, and it's like, I'm afraid for my life because there's arguments and people's. It's like you can't really pay attention to driving it under this shit. So it just pissed me off, and it's like, I don't give a no more. I really honestly don't give a damn about love anymore, or life, or like any fucking family anymore, because at this point I don't really have much. So
well, here's what I want you to do, right? And I get it. I get why you feel that way, and I ain't gonna lie, you got every right to feel that way, man. I ain't gonna cap. But here's the thing, right? There's still people that love you and care about you. Okay? So for instance, your cousin Shishi, even though you was disrespectful towards her, she loves you and she cares about you enough that she's still like, hey, even though the room that I had for him, I've already given to, she's got another relative that's going through some things, and so, but he can still come and, you know, stay on the couch for now, whatever. And, you know, I told her that, you know, about Pastor Jamal Bryant's offer and everything else. And so,
but I don't think I'm going to be able to get that, none of that, because she just pretty much dogged my entire name, said I was a liar, a thief, a manipulator, I'm scamming people out of their money and stuff.
So what makes you think that that's going to stop Pastor Jamal Bryant from doing what he said he was going to do?
The thing is, it's not so much that. It's like, now I don't really think I deserve it, because that's going to be a strain on his life. And at this point, I don't really care much what
Listen, Jaden. I need you to relax for a second, okay? I get it. You're 18, so some of this stuff seems like it's like the end of the world. It's like the biggest thing ever, right? Trust me when I tell you. Ain't nobody paying attention to what your mama said or what no Dr. Odelia said. Don't nobody know them people. Don't nobody care what they said. Nobody. How many views is that even podcast or whatever?
300,000.
That's how many views her podcast it got, her interview?
Yeah, 300,000.
On what platform?
On one platform.
On what?
Just on one platform.
On what platform?
I don't know. She just said that was just on one platform.
Listen. She's full of shit. She's full of shit. Ain't no interview that she did got no 300,000 views. I already looked it up. So I already saw the interview. I saw the 2-hour interview that y'all did or whatever. Trust me. That is.
And sorry for not trying to call you as fast as I can. Every time I was there, my mother would look at my phone and stuff. She would pretty much take it and turn it off, or like tell me not to answer it or none of that.
Hey,
shit.
Listen, man. Listen. We operate in what they call God's timing, okay? So yeah. I don't worry about when things don't happen or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure you was all good. And ultimately, man, you know, my goal is to see your life be changed, to see the trajectory that you was on change to a much higher trajectory. That's what my goal is. And so, you know, I'm going to recommend that you don't listen to anybody else about any of this stuff right now. Okay? Try to learn and understand the power of discernment. You have to discern between who's for you and who's really not. Okay? So just like how that lady, Dr. Odelia, tried to come and pretend like she was for you, but then you see she's really not. She's not trying to help you find your sister. She's not trying to help you to kind of, you know, get into a better situation. She's not understanding that the real toxic person in the picture right now is your mom. So she's in support of her because that's who she's going through to get the interview. So you're gonna have to just leave that whole situation alone. And you know, you can love your mom, but you're gonna have to love her from a distance. You're gonna have to love her from a distance because she's clearly toxic.
Yeah.
Okay, and so I can tell you that is everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
The door locked behind me.
Okay. Yeah, I can tell you that, with the power of discernment, your cousin Shishi has a beautiful spirit. She has a good spirit about her, and so whatever imperfections she may or may not have, she's good people. I can tell you that. And so I want you to listen to everything that she has to tell you, man. And definitely don't be disrespectful with her again, okay?
Yeah, I got you.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Okay, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna work to get you down here as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that you can just get your new life started, and that we can use the resources that we have to try to find your sister. Okay, these are the things we're gonna do, and we're not gonna disclose all of the tactics and all of the resources that we're gonna use, but we're gonna use them. Okay, and so how far away do I need to call Shishi, or what's the ETA?
Oh, I was about to call her because she's gonna drive down here and get me.
Okay, well.
Oh shit, she's calling me right now. 1 second.
Okay, go ahead, answer that.